As happens so many times at this Minnesota cabin, I had no plans when we went up in February 2021 that we were going to work on the floor. But I did want to try out my Granberg Alaskan sawmill and some of the tamarack logs that I had out there. Well, when I started cutting up one short log, I thought, well, we might as well use those for the cabin floor, and then we can find out, we can put them in the floor, and we can find out how they work for a floor before I get all of the floorboards cut for the new log cabin and find out that maybe the tamarack isn't such a great idea. So we dug down and we got the old boards out, and here we fitted in a spruce board that I already had cut as we got our project started. Now you can see that 20 years ago I had taken that whole floor out and put in new cedar logs down in the sand down there that these floorboards sat on. But I'll show you in a second, the old floorboards are pretty deteriorated when I put them back in, so they need to be changed, so we're going to get going on that. This is what the bottom sides of the old floor planks look like. I think they started off as 3.5 to 4 inch beams in there, really stiff, good floor. But over the years, the dampness from underneath and the fact that the old cross logs had rotted away, and then when I replaced the floor 20 years ago, these have settled right into the sand. So really a lot of punk got started. This is my first attempt at using this new Granberg Mark IV 24-inch Alaskan mill. I've got it mounted on my John Sered 2166 chainsaw, which is a 4 cubic inch chainsaw, and I'm running the Oregon ripping chain on it with the 24-inch bar that fits into this apparatus very nicely. Now we're not set up all that well. I'm down on the ground. This log is frozen to the ground, so it's stationary, and that's why I left it there rather than getting it up on something. And it's working out well, but I do need to, it's not that comfortable for me going along here, but in the future we'll get it up on a higher sawhorse. It's cutting along at a fair rate. The patience is the best, and as you do this, there's always little things of maybe lifting up on the saw end a little bit so that weight doesn't push down, and there's a few tricks that, like any job, as you do it more, you're gonna get a better job. So we're practicing on floorboards here. We use that Alaskan Mark IV mill, I think it is. Anyway, it's a Granberg's 24-inch Alaskan mill set up for the chainsaw, and that's the way we cut the planks. And then I used the Granberg edging mill to cut the edges, and to try to utilize and get as much wood out of that as we could, I went ahead and just cut the taper. That's the shape of the log, but by going crisscross back and forth, I'm not wasting any wood, and I kind of like the way it looks. After we used the Granberg Mark IV mill to cut the planks, we would then put this guide board on there, which has that metal guide on it, and I would use the Granberg edging mill to trim the edge on a nice straight line. And by doing both sides, and we would put the wide end on one course, and then we would flip it around the other, we were able to kind of seesaw across the floor and utilize these big wide pieces of wood as best we could without any waste. And for those of you that noticed, yes, I need to find that guard and get it on that Granberg edging mill. Look at that. Martin using levels, and Sean James trick there to use a bit and brace for a screwdriver. Thank you. One more board to go. We've been messing around putting in these new floorboards. One nice thing is this roller chair. It's nice and smooth. We can move around pretty nice on it. So I'm just getting this half of the floor done this trip. I got one more board to put in later today. And then I think if we slab up more of that tamarack for the floor of the new cabin, I'm taking the big thick slab pieces. They're kind of oddball, the first cut and the last cut. And I'm going to use those for the floorboards in here because I can shape them up and they work fine. No waste. Give that a try. See what we got here. The final piece. Right, drop a few shims in there at the bottom so they don't fall through too far.
Good.
Yeah, and then
a good fit.
Okay, and then I want to mark something here though.
Yeah,
Fancy.
Fit.
Just mark straight along the. Mark the L on the end. Mark the end of it there. Right where it's at the end of it. Okay. We can finish that up in a minute, but I think it's time for hot coffee and cherry pie.
All right. Sounds good. That's cherry though, right?
It's cherry.
That's good. That's a good. I like that one.
Job finished. Well, half a job finished anyway. The west half of the floor is taken care of. That was the part that was the roughest and a lot of ridges and rough stuff. So I'm very happy with the way it came out. I kind of like the design, the way using that tamarack with the tapered planks. We'll see how it ages. With that part of the floor done, I must say I'm very happy with the way the Granberg Mark IV mill worked out. I did watch a lot of YouTube videos before I came up on the trip because a tool like this, there's a lot of little hints they can give you. Starting in the corner when you start your cut, a little hand pressure here, a little watching out for this item, and so there's no sense to me. You have to learn those the hard way. So I just enjoyed some YouTube experience.